What's going on, everybody? It is Saturday. You know what time it is. It is time to have our special guest. We have Milan with us from NanoGPT. Guys, I met these guys during Bitcoin Las Vegas. Super cool team. And the moment we started talking, I'm like, I think THORChain is a perfect fit for you guys, and I think they agreed. We'll get into that, so let's get this intro out of the way. You guys, for those who haven't heard, THORChain is the world's leading Bitcoin DEX. You can swap 13 different blockchains across 41 different pools without using bridges or wrap tokens. Check it out at swap.thorchain.org, swap.thorchain.org. Anyone in the world can use THORChain. There's no account to open, no KYC required, and privacy is a human right. THORChain has two tokens, Rune and TCY. The fees for swapping on THORChain are paid in Rune, and that's where the yield comes from. The fees are deducted from swaps, so you don't need to own Rune to trade on THORChain. That's pretty cool, you guys. The Rune token is also deflationary, as 5% of the fees are burned. 10% of protocol fees go to TCY token holders. Remember to stake the TCY tokens in order to collect this yield. There are no block rewards on THORChain. The protocol fees are real money paid by real users. THORChain is more than just a DEX, you guys. It is a programmable layer 1 with the ability to create smart contracts and dApps. The app layer is being developed by Rajira. Check it out. If you need help with THORChain in general, please join the THORChain community Discord and Telegram group. Links for those are on THORChain.org, THORChain.org. On THORChain.org, you can also join our email list, you guys. It's the best way to stay up to date with THORChain, so definitely check it out. And always remember, this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The THORChain community does not endorse, condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. You guys, here we go. It is time for the show. My name's Denny. I also go by Patriot Sounds on X. I'm very excited to be talking with NanoGPT today. Been with THORChain for 6 years, for those who don't know anything about THORChain, and I'm really excited to get to talk to you guys today. I'm going to kick it to my main man, Kenton, for an update, and then we're going to get right into it. How you doing, Kenton?
I'm good, man. Thanks. We should probably mention the audience just in case you don't know. THORChain is actually paused, halted right now, so you can't do any trading. We're keeping our intro going for posterity, like, somebody listens to this in a month type deal. But on this day, very moment, there's no trading on THORChain. It's paused. An update, I think Chad was saying, he's hoping it would go through, be ready on Friday. I don't see that it was ready, so it should be done on Monday. So 3.19.1 should go out. The fixed little bug with the new key signing, key share process.
Yes.
And so that should go out on Monday. Node operators, everyone's been on top of things except for that one node. But so hopefully he's got his acting gear. So once that update goes live, I expect the node operators to adopt it like right away, and we get the ball rolling. And Chad said once the nodes adopt the new update, trading could resume within a few days type thing. The next step or major hurdle will be the churn. And Milan or anyone else, if you guys are newish to THORChain, churns in THORChain have a bit of a sordid history. Sometimes they go smooth and it takes a few hours. Sometimes it takes a few days. And it's not, I think, worth getting into. It's just there's every system, whatever, always has its quirks. That's one of the quirks for THORChain. Sometimes the churns just can take a while. So that'll be the next I would say hurdle for us to get past. But once we churn, then after that, it should be pretty smooth sailing. Things should move pretty quickly. We should be able to get back to trading. So, fingers crossed. By the end of next week, we got trading resumed, and we're back in the race, baby.
Damn right,
and
sir.
So then marketing wise, not much has happened for me. I guess the most notable thing is just signed an agreement with Sal and Mark for the Sal and Mark show. So Sal Mayweather, Sal the Agorist, my man crush, and Mark Edge. I'm blanking now. He has a Freedom Money show. I apologize. I'm going to get it wrong. But anyway, they're teaming up to start a new podcast. And it's a weekly show. It's every Wednesday. and same as us, they go for like 2.5 hours type thing and talk about all kinds of things. And but their audience is like exactly like THORChads. Like they're into agorism, anti-establishment, anti-TradFi, anti-government, pro-freedom, all that good stuff. And they're into privacy coins and self-custody, and like just like THORChain is like a perfect fit for their audience. So and their views on their podcast, like it's getting like anywhere from like 50 to 200,000 views. And they just started. So it's a smidgen of a risk. I don't know if they're going to start strong and then it's going to like they're going to fade over time. People are going to lose interest, or if they're going to go up from there. So we'll see. But I got a pretty good deal on marketing with them. So we're going to do it for a year, and we'll have a commercial on the show. We'll have a sign on the wall, and they'll do like weekly posts for us. So it's good. I can now I'm starting to do like actual outreach for us to get users, right? So in my opinion, every single person listening to that show should be using THORChain. They should be a shoo-in. So yeah, I feel like it's pretty good money spent there. So but that won't start. I told them, don't actually start talking about us, and I don't want our 1 year to start until we're trading. So letting you guys know that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, seeing how that'll work. And so I'll leave it at that and kick it over to Milan. If you could give us a little intro about yourself, your journey in crypto, how that led to NanoGPT, that'd be great.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, my journey in crypto. It's kind of interesting. So, okay, I'm Milan de Rede, if you want to look me up on X. My journey in crypto started around 2012. Actually started because I was playing this online game and we had to like send money between different players of this game that we wanted to pay for stuff. And some were in Japan, some in Brazil, and someone was like, there's this thing called Bitcoin. So yeah, my first experience with crypto was just purely the sending, the using it as money. Since
What game?
2012, a game. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
So
what's it called?
it was called Battle Dawn. It's a
I don't.
game no one knows. It was this tiny game, but like some people would spend a lot of money on the game because they wanted to win, and they would like hire us as mercenaries and such. And I would lead a team of mercenaries, and it's a whole thing. I did this while I was a student, pretty much, made some extra money. But yeah, so that was my first experience with crypto back when like on-chain fees were pretty much zero. You had to like clumsily run your own node and hope it all went well. Good times. Since then, yeah, a lot has happened in crypto. I started working at the Dutch central bank at one point. At first, not related to crypto. Then at one point, yeah,
We
yeah.
got a central
At one
banker on
point,
the show. Holy
I
smokes!
I became crypto lead at the central bank and kind of tried to convince the central bank that crypto was here to stay, was good, was important, was something we needed to do more with rather than just be against. Went about as well as you expected. So ended up leaving the central bank because I was just constantly arguing with people and like not really getting anywhere. It's like completely different worlds, right? So yeah. So after
Wait, wait,
that,
wait, wait. We can't. No, wait. I gotta sit on this point for a second here. So wait a minute. But they hired you as a crypto person?
No, no, they hired
Oh,
me for different reasons. Like I did the sort of young professional program, so you work in different departments and whatever. And then at one point, crypto started becoming more of a thing again. I want to say in 2020, 2021. And anytime people in the bank had questions about it, they would kind of come to me. And then at one point they realized like, okay, this guy actually knows a lot about this. We need someone who knows crypto because it's also hard for central banks to attract people who know a lot about crypto. Because most of the people who are into crypto are not going to be working for a central
yeah,
bank, right? So
yeah.
they kind of saw it as, okay, awesome. We have someone who knows crypto. Maybe we can sort of use this. So yeah, so ended up working on crypto, ended up working on crypto policy because the Dutch central bank at the time, I don't know if this is still the case, led this international, it's the sister organization to the IMF. they are the ones who sort of set global regulation, and they had all of these working groups talking about how to regulate crypto, what to do about it. And
What's
the
it
Dutch
called?
central,
The
I'm
the
trying to
the
think what it was.
the
The
OECD?
FSB, no, the
FSB. Okay.
FSB, Financial Stability Board, I want to say.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago at this point, but yeah. So the directors of the Dutch central bank were in there leading the working groups, and kind of my task was to work within the central bank to both educate people, but also educate those directors on what crypto was, and sort of talk about policy standpoints, all that kind of stuff. And then my take on that was like, okay, how do I get these people to actually try out crypto? And I would like do presentations and send all of them a little bit of Nano, and like get them to like send it to each other and donate it somewhere. But yeah, good times in a sense, but also extremely frustrating, because obviously there's like, it's like two worlds could not be further apart. So yeah, ended up leaving the central bank again, because I was like, this
Wow.
is not going to work. I'm just frustrating myself here and not getting anything done. So
So
yeah.
if sorry, I'm super interested to know more about this. So, like, did you like then what was their interest in crypto? Just to like understand their enemy type thing? Or do they actually think they could somehow integrate crypto into their system and make it their own? Like what
Yeah.
was their yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say many central banks are just squarely against crypto. Dutch central bank was kind of open to the idea, but with sort of guardrails, which for me would make it not crypto anymore. So they're like, they like the tech behind crypto because it can do faster payments, faster settlement. It makes cross-border payments easier. They saw it as a way that remittances from like people in the West sending money back to Africa could be cheaper and faster and more reliable. So all of that they thought was great. What they were afraid of was like they did want to have a button essentially that they could press to then stop transactions, and they would want to have like KYC on it. They would want like the money issuing to still be in their hands. And for me, all of that is like, okay, there's a few like core tenets of crypto or of Bitcoin or any specific crypto that you want. And it's like, okay, exactly the opposite of all of the stuff that you guys want. So they saw some very narrow aspects that they really liked about crypto, but then, yeah, it was sort of the blockchain, not crypto, right? They liked the idea of blockchain and not the idea of actually decentralized crypto. So yeah, I try my best to explain sort of the positives of what crypto can do, because my take is it's in general positive. Yes, there are some bad aspects to it. Apparently, North Koreans can launder money more easily. Um, but like it brings so much good to the world, and I was just trying to make that clear every single time. But yeah, it turned into sort of talking to a wall at some point.
So if you had these ideals already, I assume you would have already kind of had these even before you learned about crypto.
Yeah.
Um, like we kind of establish our value system younger in life, right? So if you already had these values, like why did you start working with a central bank in the first place? Just a paycheck? Just
No,
like,
well, I do find it super interesting to see the central bank side, like just understanding why does the system work like this? Sort of why does the other side, so to say, think that this is the way things should work? Is honestly fascinating. And just the way the banking system currently works, the way the financial system currently works. So I worked in financial markets, in banking supervision, in insurance, like sort of different placements within the bank. And it is like there is no better way to learn how the system currently works than actually working at a central bank, because it's a sort of oversight role in a way. So I would work with like supervising the fintechs in the Netherlands, the fintech banks, and you would also see the issues that they ran into because the system is kind of old. And they're like, okay, but we can do our KYC AML stuff more efficiently if we use AI. And then it would be like, no, but the laws are that you need a person who will end up saying like yes or no. So it's kind of interesting to see sort of, okay, how does the system work now? What is their reasoning behind stuff? And to be able to like discuss that stuff all day was honestly pretty fascinating.
So,
So
I just really I identify with what you're saying because when I got into like politics, I didn't do it because I wanted to be like the president or anything. I just wanted information. I wanted to see what's happening, like because you have a narrative, and then you
Yeah.
can juxtapose that with your own personal experience. And when you get into the weeds, it is the most illuminating and powerful thing imaginable because you get to see how the cookie's being made, right? It's so
Yeah.
so important. So yeah, I totally get it. And now having seen what really happens, I am so like THORChain, like let's go. We got to get this going. Like I will never stop. I will never give up because I've seen that. So good on you, sir. And I know now why you are so the way you are. but go
Yeah,
ahead,
no,
Kenton. I'll kick it back to you.
it's just super interesting to see, right? It's and also I think sort of central banks and central bankers are demonized a fair bit in crypto, like most of it joking, I guess, but still, like they are obviously demonized. And I'm sure some are in it for the wrong reasons, but also all of the people I worked with there, they all have good intentions. Like most of them, it's not actually the best paying job to work in a central bank. You'd earn way more if you just went to a commercial bank, but most of them really care about sort of making the financial system work better for people. So I also think there's value in trying to talk to sort of the other side, right? And seeing their point and then trying to convince them like there is something better, because I think everyone who listens to this, everyone who's into crypto knows there's something better and knows the traditional system is like inefficient. You have no clue actually how inefficient it really is. It's insane.
Oh
Um,
my God.
yeah. But yeah, so that was
It's,
a
it's,
long
it's
story
funny.
about my journey in crypto.
I believe you. I'll just add a quick tidbit. I have a friend who worked for the Bank of Canada, and it was like 2 years or something like that. But he actually said something similar too. That like he's like, Kenyon, you'd be surprised, but a lot of the people there are actually like kind of libertarian minded. Like they do want to help people. They do want to help give them access to money and have it be uncensorable and stuff like this. And I'm like, that's baloney. I don't believe you. But he's like, no, there's actually some people there that are pretty like good. They're not pure evil. So
Same thing on the
um,
politics
Just
side,
like
but they're the lower
devils.
people, right?
yeah,
They you know the
yeah,
people up, they're the ones that are calling the shots, and that's
yeah.
it's whether or not you conform. But go ahead, I interrupted. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Kenton.
so yeah, sorry, Milan. Sorry for the tangent. I love this. This is great. But okay, so you quit in a rage of fury. No more fiat, no more central bank. You storm out of there, make a scene. Everyone's talking about it still to this day. Then
Hardly true, actually. Yeah.
what do you do after that?
I did not go quietly. No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it was
Oh,
kind of it was a bit of a thing at the time. Yeah, I think I sometimes still come back because I have a lot of friends still at the central bank, right? And sometimes at like parties or drinks or whatever, this thing comes up about this. Do you know this like ex-employee who was doing crypto and then they left and like they went on podcasts and whatever, and like they don't realize it's me. So like the story for some reason is still going around quite often. So I'm still identified by story rather than by name, luckily.
nice.
But yeah, no, I kind of went out on good terms. I still like most people there. But yeah, anyway, so stopped working for the central bank. At that time, I didn't leave with the idea of I'll set something up myself. I was just like, okay, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the world. I was writing a lot about crypto and sort of just active in the different communities, mostly Nano. Um, and just I was like, we'll see. And then late 2022, ChatGPT comes out while we're in Valencia. I remember because we were flying back from Valencia and we were there with some friends. And I was just obsessed because it had come out that day and I was just on my phone the entire time and like showing it to my friends. And they're like, man, you're being such a geek. Like it's just this bot. It's just like, it's not a replacement for anything, man. It's not a friend. It's what, and I was obsessed. So afterwards, at the time to get access to the best models, you needed the subscription. Like right now, you also have like free tiers on most providers. At the time, you needed a subscription. And I was like, okay, that's terrible. We want everyone to have access to the top models, even if they're like closed source or open source. Like, we want everyone to be able to try it out. So I just figured, okay, I'll ask ChatGPT to start making me to start helping me make like a Telegram bot where people can deposit a little bit of crypto, Nano only at the time, and then they can like send a few messages to ChatGPT and like experience the magic of having this genius. So yeah, I set up this Telegram bot, and just as a bit of fun, like as a hobby, I didn't know anything about coding or development or whatever. The bot started getting some traction. At the time, actually, one of the early users was Erik Voorhees, who then went on to also set up like his own Venice, obviously. But yeah, so my co-founder, Huggy, he reached out to me at one point on Twitter because he was also in the Nano community. We'd never met or anything, just he was also in the community. He reached out and he was like, man, the Telegram bot is cool, but I think most people would prefer a website. So I have some experience building a website. You have this. Maybe we get together and we just try it out and see how it goes. And yeah, that was the origin story of NanoGPT. At the time, I was a girl on Twitter for reasons. I was anonymous, and he had like a monkey profile picture, and we never even had a clue what the other person's actual name was or face until like months later when we had to do a call with some other company. And we're like, man, maybe we should like have a face-to-face before we do this, because we have no clue. Like, I have no clue what you're called. Um, so yeah, we started building up NanoGPT, and at the start it was very simple, and then it kept growing and growing and growing. And it started with just one model, one coin. Nowadays, it's essentially the sort of short story of it is you have access to every AI model you can think of: text, images, video, all kinds of AI tools. Literally anything you can think of, we have it. And you can access them in a private way. We don't ask for any of your information. You can pay in crypto. You can stay completely anonymous, and you can just use everything that you like, all of the models. We thought it would be mostly interesting to like privacy-minded individuals. Turns out companies also quite like it, businesses, because you have one, like we also have an API, for those who know what that is. So for companies, it's very easy. They have one integration, centralized billing, and like their marketing department can use the video models from, say, Google. Their developers can use the latest Claude model, and they can use like open source models whenever they feel like it. So yeah, nowadays we're sort of aimed at individuals who care about their privacy, or just developers in general, but also businesses. And yeah, we accept pretty much every coin there is. We're expanding the number of coins thanks to THORChain as well. So yeah, that's the short story of
It's
NanoGPT.
awesome. It's awesome. And because this is your time, I think you were recently affected by the Fable 5 situation. Maybe you want to just give a quick rundown. Like, that's no longer available on just because of the sanction, correct?
Correct. So middle of the night this time, or like Spain time where I am currently, I think it was like 2 a.m. Claude just suddenly pulled Fable access for everyone, like no warning whatsoever. I don't think anyone got a warning. Everyone we've spoken to just had it suddenly pulled as well, including us, sadly. So I think the current state of affairs is that no one has access except for inside Anthropic themselves. And the longer term thinking is that it might only be available to people in the US or companies in the US. It's completely unclear how that is going to work. We have no clue. I don't think anyone has a clue at this point. It's a fantastic model, so I would love to have it back as quickly as possible. And it was like, it immediately became the most used model on our service as well. So I know that users would like to have it back. But yeah, if I had any more information, I would gladly share, but we're just in the dark as everyone else.
Yeah, just want to share that. Go ahead, Kenton.
So NanoGPT is like an AI aggregator. Like, you guys
Yes.
you're not running any models yourself. You connect to all the different AI platforms out there.
Correct. So at this point, I think we have like 87 providers integrated off the top of my head,
Holy
which is,
smokes, there's 87 out there?
yeah, there are so many providers. So you have all of the closed source ones. So let's say Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, XAI, whatever. But then you also have the sort of hyperscalers. So Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google Vertex, all of those also run models. And we want to use all of them to get the best stability, essentially, for the user. So let's say Anthropic goes down, then Amazon Web Services also still has the model available. Not in the case of Fable, obviously, which like every one of them pulled. But if Anthropic has an issue with their servers, then through us, you can still keep using it, because we also route to AWS. to Azure, to like all of the different hosters that there are for the models. And then for open source, there are infinite providers for all of these open source models. And we integrate all of them again, just for stability, but also to give the user choice. Like sometimes users want to use only European providers, for example. Well, you can do that. We also have TEE models, trusted execution environment, which is models where we can like verify what model the provider is running and actually verify the code on their server. So we know for sure that there's no logging. So essentially there's little downside to us to integrating more different providers. It also like helps us get discounts and better deals because we can kind of just pick whatever offers us the best at any point. So yeah, tons of different providers. I think any provider and model you can name, literally we have it. So
So-
and so you, oh, go ahead, Denny.
I'm sorry. Well, Kenton, I was actually going to talk about you because when I was at the Bitcoin Las Vegas, I met these boys. They were at the party. I didn't interact with you as much at the party. That's a shame because there was more people there, and I just didn't happen to talk to you that much. But I was standing there with Mark Mason, Joel from Dash, and when I asked them, what is it? What does Nano do? Their explanation made me think of you, Kenton, because your big thing that you're so passionate about, and I'm also passionate about, is like banking the unbanked, giving people, anyone in the world, sovereignty over their finances and allowing them access to live a better life. And the thing that I really like about Nano was, with AI Aggregator, a lot of these things are behind a wall. They're gated. They require KYC. There's there's geofencing around some of these things. And with Nano, they allow anyone in the world to have access to these powerful AI tools that otherwise would be unavailable to them. And correct me if I'm wrong, Milan, you offer it like at the similar price because again, you give a discount because you are an AI aggregator. Is that correct?
correct. Yeah. So I think especially if you use via API, in almost every case, we are as cheap or cheaper as using providers directly. Usually it's a bit of a discount as well, just because let's say a model like GLM5, GLM 5.1, the top open source models, the creators of the model run it themselves, but then open source providers start running it and start like optimizing it, and they get it to run even cheaper. So then we can also offer it cheaper again. But yeah, what you
Beautiful.
were saying, actually, the sort of giving everyone access, still one of my favorite stories, and this is from super early on, was this random guy in Kenya who messaged saying that he got medical advice from our service, and I'm like, man, I these are like 2 years ago models. And I'm like, I don't know if you should trust this, man. And he's like, yeah, but like my alternative is a shaman in my village.
Yeah.
and
Don't
Yeah.
get you started on doctors. They're worse than central bankers. So he's
exactly.
Yeah.
But so his alternative was paying $20 a month, I think, at the time for the subscription, which would give access to like the top model. But he just had a few medical questions. So I think he literally deposited like 50 cents or even less. In Nano, I think that was the only thing we accepted at the time. And started asking his question. He's like, this is great. So yeah, the story of trying to give everyone as easy access to all of these models as possible, like it makes us super happy. Like the businesses are better for business, but the individuals make us the happiest just to know. Like we got an email earlier today from a guy, I won't share his name, but like just a page full of him being grateful for what we built in our like support inbox. And I'm like, man, it just makes your week anytime someone's like happy with what you've built. So yeah.
So like you know how like you guys know what neobanks are, right? They so it's like a bank, a virtual bank on top of a bank, and then they can like go do stuff, whatever. They're like but then they're always getting shut down. And because the bank that they're sitting on top of doesn't like what they're doing or whatever, and rug pulls them. And so, like, I'm curious, do you guys run that risk that you're like a neo AI that like you have the main platforms underneath? Can they come back and be like, well, we have our geofencing, we do our KYC, but you're not doing that, so now we're gonna stop supporting you, like, or they know what you're doing, they're cool with it, they don't care as long as you pay the subscription.
Yeah.
Um,
So we don't even pay the subscription. It's like API, so we pay for every call that we do. So for most of these big providers, subscriptions make a loss for them. Like it's a sort of loss leader to get people into their sort of models. And then the API is where they make their money because they can just price it at like whatever their cost is plus a markup. We use the API because you're not allowed to split a subscription many ways, which makes sense. So we use the API. So all of the providers, as far as we know, are very happy with us because we are where they get profit from, essentially. We sometimes talk about this as well because in the long term, it could be that one of the providers goes like, we do not want this to happen anymore. We want to like have full control ourselves over like just serving the models only to our customers directly. Could be the case. I think our thinking is it's kind of their loss maybe at that point because we are still going to be able to offer all of the other models except their one. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I think you're just losing out on revenue here. You're losing out on profit here. It could definitely happen. But that's also why we try to have resilience in terms of using many different providers, having backups for everything. So even, for example, OpenAI models, you run them via OpenAI, but also via Azure. You have Azure US, you have Azure Europe. So yeah, we try to be as resilient as we can, but it could happen. It could happen that they try to cut off our access. That is a risk. There's just very little incentive for them to do so, I think.
Yeah. But they know what you're doing. And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, they understand. It's not like you're kind of
No.
walking the line and kind of like, well, if we don't what's that phrase? Like don't say, don't tell or whatever. Like
Yeah. No, so
everyone
with
keep their
most
mouth
we have
shut.
like direct communication.
Okay.
Almost every provider. So that's also usually when a new model comes out, we tend to have it online within like a few minutes or an hour, because in many cases we get sort of early warning, like this is coming, get ready. These are some of the specs. This is the pricing. So no, they know about us. We're probably not the biggest user that they have, but we're a big enough user that it's noticeable for most of them. And I think there are also services where they do the like one subscription and split it between many people. I can imagine that those are more at risk of being killed off because like that is just pure loss for all of the AI companies. But what we do is like just using the API. So yeah.
So if someone's using your platform, do they have to go select the model they want to use, or they just type in whatever and then your platform decides which model to send the query to?
Yeah, so we have different options. So we're all about options, essentially. I think most in crypto kind of appreciate like you want to give people the choice to do whatever they want to do. We kind of think the same way. So you can select the model that you want to use. So let's say you heard about Claude Fable and you want to try it. Well, like hopefully soon again, you just type Fable and you select Fable. Or right now, the top model, probably GPT 5.5, you can select it. We also have the AutoModel, which just you type something and we decide, okay, this is a programming question. This model is the best at programming, so we're going to route it to this model. This question is about Chinese, so we're going to route it to this model. So that kind of takes the thinking about what model to use out of the way. So we have AutoModel, which is just for standard text queries. We also have a coding router where you can sort of specify. I quite like the idea of this. You can specify how smart the model needs to be, and then we'll route it to the cheapest model at that intelligence. So you have all of these benchmarks. Like they're released every time a model comes out, they show how they do on the benchmarks. And you keep seeing these scores climb up. But also the prices keep going up. So sometimes people just care about, I want to be able to have this intelligence and see it get cheaper over time. So you can use the coding router medium, let's say, and then it picks whatever model scores above 50 and then just picks the cheapest one. So yeah, AutoModel coding router we have for OpenClaw. We have like, I think we call it Claw router or AutoClaw or something. And it picks the model that works best with OpenClaw. So we kind of try to take the sort of complications out of it for most people, but then we also still want people to be able to select whatever they want to use themselves. So yeah, you have both options essentially is what I'm saying.
That's pretty cool because I saw someone post on Twitter that the using Opus 4.8 to rename a file, and it's like I do it too. Like, I'm like, man, how many times am I doing stuff here that I'm like, I really don't need the highest, the top model to run these prompts, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it'd be cool to use a platform like yours that, you know, like, so is your platform smart enough to know then if I'm using a pretty basic prompt that, okay, it'll go down to a lower intelligence level, save me some money?
Yeah,
Or do
yeah.
I still have to select? It is doing that. It is thinking about that.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you use one of those auto models, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So essentially what we do on our end is it runs, I think right now on Gemini Flash because it's a super fast model. So if you use the auto model, it sends the prompt first to Gemini Flash and asks it to classify it in terms of what sort of query is this. Like it has, I think, 20 categories it can use. Then in the background, we have like the benchmarks. So it automatically checks like, okay, for this query, these are the top models on the benchmarks. And then it also says how difficult the prompt is. And then it decides like, okay, given that it's this difficult and it's programming, you're fine with, I don't know, DeepSeek or something, which is cheap. So yeah,
That's
that's,
that's pretty cool. So then I guess it also does rest on the user too, because if I'm an idiot and I'm like doing spelling mistakes in the prompt and I have bad grammar and I'm not formulating my question properly, that could kick me up into maybe a higher, cost me more because the AI has to think harder about it. But if I am clear and direct and simple, that should give me some cost savings, right? Is that how it works? Yeah.
I I'm not sure how difficult the AIs find it to actually figure out what you mean because when I talk to them, I'm just like, ah, okay, go. Like I use something called I think Super Whisper, so I just like do a speech to text, and there's like endless mistakes in there, and it still seems to figure it out fine. Maybe it
Okay.
costs a few extra like thinking tokens on its end, so maybe you're right that it like adds some extra cost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's sort of I try not to over optimize in that sense. I'm like, okay, voice is much quicker and I need to get this work done. It depends what you use it for, I think. Like if it's for work, like for building NanoGPT, right? Then we try not to save on cost because everything is super important to us. But if I'm going to ask about the capital of Paris or like the capital of France, Paris, then yeah, I'm not going to want to use the very top model. So then I'm happy that the auto model routes to something cheap and easy, essentially.
Nice.
So, Kenton, this is what made me so excited talking to these boys because, like, this lets you know, Milan. Like, when I really got to understand what you offered, I was like neurotic, and the entire I'm like, you guys got to meet this team. You have to meet this team. We're having dinner right now. Come talk to these guys. Come, because for me, my brain really likes when there's a synergy between elegance, simplicity, and power. And to me, it's just so obvious this is such a good idea to pay for usage rather than a subscription. And then also because every AI model has its own unique nuances, just to pay for what you need and then it selects the correct AI based on the prompt. This is such a simple and brilliant idea. And it's just a great, great thing. So where I want to go from here is you have a nano token. So I want to make sure we cover that, right? Nano, that's a token. I'm going on memory. I'm sorry if I'm incorrect. Right?
So Nano is a crypto. It was
Yes.
pre-existing. It's not a crypto that we issued.
Oh,
So Nano it has been around since I want to say 2016, 2017. And we like the coin. It's instant, it's zero fees, it just works fantastically. So when we started setting this up, we only used Nano because it's just so easy to get started.
oh,
Um,
got you. I understand. I understand.
yeah, but we
So,
don't issue it ourselves.
okay, I understand. So,
Do
okay, let
you,
me change the. Go ahead, Kenton.
no, go. You keep going, Denny.
So right now, forget THORChain, right? How do you accept payment? Like, how does this work? If someone says this sounds great, I want to use this. Like, what is the means of them to purchase AI? Like, what tokens do you accept? Stuff like that.
Okay, so I have to open our website because it keeps changing every day. Essentially, we try
No,
to.
share your site. Do
Yeah,
share
share your
screen.
screen. Yeah, share
Can I
screen.
share a screen here? Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's on the bottom there,
Oh,
to the right,
here.
and you go. Yep, yeah.
It
Let's
won't let you
see
let
it.
me share. It's grayed out for me. I don't know why.
Really?
Oh, how bizarre! Maybe when you change your VPN, give me.
Yeah,
Can you send it? Put it in Telegram. I'll share it for you.
yeah, cool.
Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure that we get people to see your site because that's the whole point here.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
in terms of what crypto we accept, here I sent you a link. What
Perfect.
crypto we accept? We essentially accept everything. That's the thinking, at least. So if you can name a coin, then we probably accept it. Right now, I think, yeah. So Nano, obviously, Monero is the most used coin on our platform. I guess because of the privacy aspect, right? But also we have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Lightning, Ethereum, obviously all of the stable coins, Litecoin, Zcash, Dash, Solana,
Can
Ton, like Telegram,
you zoom in, Denny?
literally anything you can think of, we probably have it. I guess if you open the website, actually, you'll see the full list.
Okay, where do I go here to check the assets out? Do I
I
scroll
see a
down?
black screen, so I don't know.
Oh, really? How
Really?
bizarre.
Yeah.
Can
Oh,
the
wow.
audience, can you give us
Yeah,
a thumbs up or someone in the
I can.
chat?
If
Um,
I want. Wow, how weird. I wonder if there's something to do with the VPN on your side. That's so bizarre that
Yeah.
it's not working. Huh.
But
Well,
okay,
do
so
okay.
we
if
Let
you
me.
have are we live on
Yes, we are. I checked.
okay,
okay.
because we have
So
no one chatting in the which is I don't think we've ever had no
Oh,
chats.
how bizarre.
Um
So essentially, Danny, you can just go to balance, which should
Okay.
be on the left in like the nav bar, it's called, or the menu. I
Okay.
don't know what
Mm,
you see, but if you see,
No problem. I'll figure it out. Okay, balance. Okay, I see balance. All right, and then I see
and then
balance. Choose amount.
yeah,
Okay.
if you just click like 5 or something, and then digital currencies, then
Ah,
the full list.
perfect. Here we go. I got it. Cool. It's gonna be on there. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's literally. I don't want to say literally every coin because obviously there are some coins
Sure.
that are like exceptions. But yeah, all of those you see there, all of the big coins. We also, this is actually maybe interesting to people as well. We release payment statistics every month so that people can see what coins are the most used. Because I think in crypto, like everyone pretends that their coin is like used a lot and like actually, it has like an ecosystem and it has users. We kind of like can call bullshit on that for some coins, and for some other coins where people might not expect them to be used that much, we can go like, look at the statistics. It's used a ton. Um, so yeah, all of those coins we wanna accept Rune, even though like I know it's not a payment coin, but also what THORChain will allow us to do is we can accept, I think it's XRP we have ready,
Yep.
AVAX and Atom, I want to say, um, which
Yeah.
are on THORChain. So like I know I'm going into a different part of the conversation here, but
Well, no,
well,
this is a great point of conversation. If I may interject real quick, and I'm not going to put the centralized exchange on blast, but this is something we talked about when we were saying with Mark Mason, with Bitcoin Magazine and Joel from Dash. What happened to you guys? What was the issue when you were accepting a payment with a centralized exchange that really caused a big wake up moment? I'll give it to you, sir.
yeah. So I'll try not to shame the exchange too much because we're still currently using them.
Of
Uh,
course, that's why I didn't say them. Go ahead.
Essentially, we had a payment from a user, and we just saw them as a regular user, nothing odd about them. We sent the money to the exchange to swap it into USD because, like, sadly, many of our suppliers do want to be paid in fiat. OpenAI and Anthropic unfortunately don't accept crypto yet. So we sent it on. It was Dogecoin. It was $8 of Dogecoin, I think it was. No, it might have been $32 in total, actually. We send it on to the exchange and we immediately get an email saying that our account has been suspended because apparently the UTXO, they wouldn't actually tell us what the issue was until later, just that like we were doing business with illicit individuals. And it turned out that the coins or the specific UTXOs had touched an Iranian exchange at some point in like the payment history. And then we had to go through all of this trouble to prove that we were not laundering Iranian money, which I'm like, it's literally $32 in Dogecoin. Dogecoin is like our least used coin pretty much. So, if someone's trying to launder money with it, it's like literally $40 a month or whatever. So yeah, then our account got frozen for quite a while. I don't know how long it was, but we had a bit of money in the exchange at the time. And we still had like bills to pay and everything. So it was slightly stressful, slightly annoying because bills do keep adding up and we couldn't take any of our money out. So yeah, when we heard about like THORChain and what we could do with THORChain, we were like, okay, this sounds like a way better solution. So that's also why we were so excited, right? Because There's no sort of central, there's no party that will say like, okay, but these few UTXOs have at some point in the past, we're not going to tell you when or where, touched an unnamed Iranian exchange. So yeah, in terms of a sort of wake up moment, that was a good one.
Yeah, you guys, you boys and girls, seeing the pitch I made. I have a team here who has the same ethos as us. They want permissionless, non-KYC access to things that improve the lives of other people. And then they were unfairly pause. I think it was $8. I remember you guys saying $8, whatever it is,
Yeah.
$32. It doesn't matter. I'm just like, that is insane. Are you kidding me? Your whole business goes down for, a money like less than a decent lunch, right? Like you guys are busy or professional business. And so I'm like, this is obvious you guys need THORChain. Like this is one of the problems that THORChain solves. And you guys are solving a problem. When you combine these things, this is a perfect synergy. I mean, it can't get any better, right? You've got permissionless access to, liquidity. You have permissionless access, to these AI primitives that make the world a better place, especially that great story you talked about, that man in Kenya getting medical advice. I mean, that's just a beautiful story, right? This is incredible. And so I just will tip my hat to you. I'm not trying to kiss your ass. Like, I don't do this. Like, I don't tip my hat. If I ever tip my hat to someone on the show, no, like, you guys have made an amazing product. This was just a simple and brilliant idea. And shout out to you guys. I'm so glad that we met. It was the greatest thing, dude. So
yeah,
I love it.
It's a lot of fun. So I used to not work in crypto, right? Because I was like, how am I going to work with crypto? I really like crypto. I like what it stands for, but I didn't see a way to sort of actually make a business off of it. So being able to build this, I think I can also speak for my co-founder, Huggy. It's so much fun and so sort of fulfilling to be able to build something that people really like to use and know that you're improving people's lives in a way. I know it sounds very sort of blasé and whatever, but like it's so nice to get emails and feedback from people that actually like your product and use it and find ways to like help them with your product. And at the same time, we're able to accept crypto. We do the payment statistics because we want more people to accept crypto and we want to make it easier. We want to make it clear, like, if you're going to accept crypto, start with these because they're actually used. We talk to other merchants about like, okay, what's the best ways to accept different crypto? So yeah, it's being able to make a living off of what you really like doing is amazing. So no complaints whatsoever here.
And how
Kenton,
did
kick to you.
like this guy in Kenya, for example, how does he know about you? Like, how are you getting the message out there, and how are these people finding it?
Yeah, so we actually do no advertising whatsoever. We tried Google Ads with like small amounts and we couldn't really figure it out. It's also because we don't track users, so we don't do the whole, you get cookies here and you get this tracker here and whatever. We don't do any of that. So then advertising becomes quite difficult apparently. So we've spoken to a few people who want to help us like set up ads and whatever. But it's really difficult to set up. So essentially, the only way people find us now is just word of mouth. So we have a lot of users who are very happy with us and they talk about us to their friends, but also like on Reddit, on Twitter. I think Reddit is a very big one for us. So many people come in via Reddit and just, yeah, I don't know, just people talking to each other and discovering it, I guess.
So you mentioned Erik Voorhees. Like, I wonder how he found out about you guys. Like, was it?
It's a very good question, actually. I don't remember how he found it. I think at the time I was probably reply guying Erik a lot. So before I started working on NanoGPT seriously, I was Mira Hurley on Twitter, a woman who was very into like dissing Bitcoin and explaining all of the things that were wrong with how we were building Bitcoin. And I kind of reply girled at the time a lot of people. So I think maybe that's how he maybe he clicked.
He had a crush on you.
I think so, yes. Man, when I sort of came out of the closet, so many people were disappointed on sending messages. I thought I was shot with her. I'm like, well, you wouldn't.
Right on.
That smile, bro. You're getting that smile when. Go ahead, Kenton.
Speaking of Erik, he's got Venice, his AI thing. Is like, are you guys like competition with each other? Like, is he doing the same thing as you basically? Or is there a difference between what you guys are both doing?
Yeah, so I think at the start there was a big difference. So what Erik did with Venice is they focused mostly on only open source models. and then a subscription on the open source models. And we did just all models, not just open source, but also closed source. And we started with only pay as you go. So only pay per query that you do. We still have that as the primary thing, but seeing that so many people like subscriptions, we optionally also have a subscription to the open source models. So in that sense, we got closer to what Venice is doing. And then Venice also added the closed source models pay as you go. So they also got closer to what we are doing. In general, I guess in a sense it's competition, but in another sense, it feels like AI is so big. There's plenty of space for everyone. I think what they do fantastically well is UX. Like they have a fantastic user experience on their website. And they keep trying to push for sort of making the models more private. So the TEE models that we mentioned, I think they also do that. They might have it by default. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, like in a sense, they're competition. But yeah, I think there are probably many people competing or trying to compete in this space. And I think anything that gives more people access to AI, preferably also being able to pay in crypto, that's definitely all good. We don't need everyone to only use us. I think there was some criticism by was the Zcash guys or something, like they run a privacy AI service, but they're not accepting Zcash. I think Erik Voorhees, or they accept via Coinbase or something. Either way, like there was some criticism, but in general, like they're doing an amazing job as well. I think UX wise, we could learn something from them.
Well, that's like going back to you using that centralized exchange and the $32 and like, there's there's still so many things in crypto that are built around a centralized intermediary, and
Yeah,
like and like using the Zcash thing as an example, like we shouldn't really. I understand what you meant. Like it's more ironic, but at the same time, they're kind of forced into it because they don't have the alternative. It's still kind of clunkier. It doesn't really exist. Just like you guys using the centralized exchange, you understand why it's not a great idea. You experienced it, but you really didn't have much choice. It kind of
yeah,
was only you kind of have to do that. And so, like for us, that's what gets us so excited about THORChain is like for you in particular is like it clicked immediately. Like, of course, I should use THORChain, right? And like, and forgive me too, Milan, because we had not talked before Vegas, right?
no,
And you came to the meetup. You came to our side event at
yeah.
the F1 arcade, and but you hadn't integrated THORChain yet. You were interested. You wanted to talk to us about it. Well, I should say first you kicked everyone's ass at F1 arcade. You
Bro,
channeled your inner Max Verstappen to
that is
destroy everyone.
what we were actually there for. We saw
Yeah, yeah.
because I was speaking, right? So I had this invite to this rooftop, whatever golden hour speaker thing, and the dress code was like suit and everything. And then Huggy was like, "Man, there's this THORChain event at the F1 arcade," and we're like, "Wow, sounds way more fun. Let's do that one."
Well, so
Good
this
choice.
is beautiful. This is great because, and so we meet, we hang out, we chat, and then I think we had a call. I don't know, a week or two after that type thing, right?
Yeah,
And I gave you
yeah.
the API key, and then I think then you guys integrated in like a. Did you do like a day? Like how
I
long?
think by the time we had the call, so Huggy was also super excited about this because, like, he's also very into crypto, right? So I think literally on the plane back, we started integrating, and like it was super easy to integrate. And he got super excited seeing like, okay, it's not just for doing big swaps. We can actually make this work for smaller payments as well, and we can use it as a sort of payment mechanism. And so by the time we had the call, I think we were all done.
But that
So
you're right. You were done. That's right. And I might have given you the key in Vegas, and I must have.
I think
Well, we were.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might have been the case. Yeah, because I know at least that Huggy got started on it like literally on the flight back. So
So,
yeah,
and it was. Can I ask like how easy or hard was it? Did you like? I don't remember you asking me any questions. It seems like you guys did it
I
pretty
think it was
simply.
very easy for like Huggy did this integration. So I don't
Yeah.
know for sure, but
Okay.
given how quickly he did it,
Yeah.
it must have been very easy. I think
Yeah.
the only thing he was having problems with was the minimum payout or something, but that's because we were doing this weird thing where we wanted to also accept essentially micropayments. But then I think we figured out we could also get paid out in base USDC, and then the minimums were lower, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
Um,
think because the minimum, I do remember our conversation now. So yeah, our minimum trade size on THORChain, I think, is basically the outbound gas fee. Is
yes,
right. You don't want it to be
yeah,
eaten up, so or you need to have enough for that. So yeah, if you're doing like 50 cents, $1, then you got to be selective on the chain you use.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
But
You
but
guys figured
honestly,
that
like,
out then. You figured out yeah,
yeah. Yeah, so again, this was all Huggy, but
yeah,
no, as far as I know, it was super easy to integrate. I think actually, but I might be misremembering now something else he was trying to do. He had some issues, but it was because of the plane Wi-Fi. So he was trying to like get this working on the plane, and obviously, like that's not the best Wi-Fi to be testing a system on. But no, like the entire thing was very clear and documentation was good. I think that's also what he was saying in the call that we
yeah,
had like the 2 weeks later, right? Like
yeah.
it's great to integrate with. So
I
yeah,
got
no,
I got to add that to our marketing. Then you can integrate our API on a plane
yep,
using the plane Wi-Fi.
yes.
And
Yeah.
if you can't, come on, guys, if you can't do that, you're not a dev. Like,
You
come on,
can do it
that's
on
crazy.
shared Wi-Fi on the plane because we were too cheap to pay for separate passes. So we got it on one and then like set it up as a hotspot. And I think I got the hotspot. So he was working on even shittier Wi-Fi. And it
This is
still works.
awesome. I love it. This is great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that we're down right now. Hopefully, it's not impacting you guys too much. Um, do you know, are you still, because we do have Maya protocol as a backup. Are you still going some routes through them? Do you know? Do you
No,
have
I
that
think
turned on?
now I think it's paused on our side.
Okay.
Also because I think we wanted to like launch the coins and then it was literally the day that it was paused. So we're like, okay, we'll hold off
Bummer.
and we'll wait
Yeah.
like yeah, but like it's it's that's what you get with a decentralized system, right? Like sometimes you need to
Yeah.
fix stuff, improve stuff.
Yeah.
Um
It,
Well,
it's really hard, man. It's really hard.
yeah,
People don't understand what the like THORChain is an engineering miracle, but it is so unbelievably complex, and it just gets better and better. But so yeah, I appreciate you saying that a lot because that's what we're trying to do here is to make it as reliable as possible. But occasionally
yeah.
there are hiccups. Go ahead, Kenton.
no, I say, well, and this is definitely an outlier event. Like this hasn't
Yeah,
happened
100%.
in 5 years. Well, when THORChain first went live, it was offline for a few months, but that was still like beta, right? And then, but
Yeah.
once the devs announced mainnet, um, which is really just like nothing changed in the code. It was just like a decree saying, okay, we think we're good. Like everything should be fine. And I think that was it was in 21, right? Summer 21, right, Denny? So it's been almost
Maybe
5 years.
22, but yeah, no, it's been a long time. Yes.
It's been almost 5 years. We've definitely had like individual chains be paused or halted, but not the entire network. So this is definitely a first. And
Yeah.
so hopefully this is the last.
I think
Uh,
anyone building stuff knows that it's hard to build stuff and hard
Yeah.
to like never have anything go wrong. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
well,
Well,
especially cross chain. Like
yeah.
this is what a lot of people don't get. Like, oh, Bitcoin's never been down. Well, Bitcoin is very simple.
yeah,
And THORChain is like, I
A
want to say
million lines of code.
10 times the code or 25 times the code.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with all these different blockchains. And like, it's a beast. And like, this is why there's still centralized exchanges. And 'cause it's hard to do it decentralized. And it's still why THORChain is really the only game in town, other than our sisters Maya. The other players have some element of centralization or off-chain transactions or whatever. So, um, yeah,
I quite liked
Good
that
point,
about
Kenton.
the dinner that we had as well when Chad was explaining sort of how it worked and all the difficulties that he went through. And I'm like, man, by the way, Chad, the F1 arcade event. So I was sat next to Chad for most of the racing, right? Like he was next to me. I had no clue he was even into THORChain at all. Had any idea. He never mentioned it all evening. He was just like, okay, another race. Okay, let's go, let's go. Then next time we see him, we're like, oh wait, oh okay, you came up with THORChain. You're like the developer. I just know it was F1 guy. It was a very fun event.
I'm glad this is beautiful, honestly, because like this is the point of doing the event, literally this reason, right? So I'm really glad you guys came.
Yeah,
Awesome, and not just because you integrated THORChain, but just glad you're interested to come check it
Yeah.
out, right? So thank you.
yeah.
And
I was very happy with my choice not to go to the sort of black tie whatever rooftop thing, and instead like hang out
yeah,
with fun guys who talk crypto, and it was
yeah,
really fun. Like the Joel was there as well, right, from Dash, and Edge Wallet guys were there. So
Yep.
it's honestly a better crowd than most of the like Bitcoin whales type
yeah,
people that were at the
yeah.
other event.
And Kenton, I'm not gonna allow you to get away with it. You're being humble here. Good job on choosing the venue. You did a great job, and you set in motion a chain of events, which ultimately led to Nano and THORChain basically getting into a relationship. So kudos to you, good sir. Even
Yes,
if we didn't talk at the party, I recognized, oh, hey, what's going on, man? And that was it. That was the connection.
definitely a great first run, right? So, now the bar's set high, right? We got to get integration out of every side event now.
Yeah, no
Um,
joke.
no, but at least what matters more is you guys had fun, you enjoyed it, so that we do another side event.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you guys come back. You tell someone else, you bring them along, right? That's the point. Is that we grow the community. But that's also what's great about THORChads is I like to say we're making crypto cypherpunk again. The original conversations and ideas that built this whole industry, and like you know I go to a Bitcoin meetup, and some of the guys there are pretty frustrated with the Bitcoin community, how it's like just about number go up and selling out the TradFi and all that kind of stuff. And I think in the end, I do believe you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. I think in the end this is all good for Bitcoin. It's just maybe kind of gone astray for a bit, but I think it'll come back. I'm not worried about it. Um but it's really good for the guys like you, Edge Wallet, everyone else are still carrying the torch and like remembering why this technology exists, what we're really trying to do here. So
Yeah.
it's awesome
Um,
to meet you guys like you.
No, I wanted to say it was probably our favorite part of the whole Bitcoin Las Vegas was like the dinner and like the event, because the dinner was also super nice, right? Like everyone who was there. So I think it was some BCH guys, some Dash guys, like you guys, obviously, then us, Joel. Everyone there actually cared about crypto and having it work. No one there was like, okay, my chain or nothing, or anything like that. So the rest of the event for me, because as a speaker, you're in this sort of, I don't know, speaker area or whatever. And many people there were like, every time you ask someone what they do, like a lobbyist or like, I do private, what was it called? They did like the high net worth individuals at Robinhood, and like everyone you met was into Bitcoin just as an asset, like not even holding Bitcoin, but like holding some derivative of Bitcoin somewhere. So I was saying to Huggy, I think earlier that day even, I'm like, man, this is such a bust. Like none of these people are the
yeah.
ones that we want to talk to or that we have anything in common with, or that I'm enjoying in any way. So yeah, thanks for the side event. It was
Well,
it
this
was
is
great.
something that Joel talked about. I really love his idea. And I don't know if confederation is the right word, but basically, like, all these other teams that have the similar ethos, who have, you call it cyberpunk, or just this genuine desire to make the world a better place, that we all come together and that we form basically a shared effort, a shared team, right? We can go to various uh, crypto conferences or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like all the people who have stayed true to the ethos, to the mission, we're all finding each other. And I love that so much. It's so powerful to have the network effect like that. So yeah, finding you guys obviously was just a solid win. It's crazy. And I'm sure there are other teams out there that are gems like yourself. I just try to find these people, because the technology that you have, it's a simple idea, really simple, but it's brilliant in the same way. It's just it's so obviously better, because I have a subscription to an AI thing right now, and I'm just like, dude, like, I don't always use it. You know what I mean? I'd rather just use it as I need it, right? And then
Yeah,
I'm locked into that one version, right? I don't, you see what I'm saying? So you guys are solving a problem, basically. You
Yeah.
are a marketplace for AI tooling. It's obviously wins. And THORChain is a marketplace for various layer ones. And soon it will be a marketplace for privacy coins as well. We technically do with maybe like Litecoin, emblem, stuff like that. But you know what I mean? This industry is getting so better. And I think we are just properly placed where we're at. Despite the hiccups, despite the technical challenges, we move past it, we get stronger, we get better, and we're ready to deliver upon the world an ecosystem of financial infrastructure or AI infrastructure that's just going to make everything so much better. LFG, my friends, let's go. I hope you guys are excited. I'm pumped up right now. This is great. This is so great.
Milan, you mentioned like Monero is popularly used, and you want to have like a list of what tokens people are actually using to
Yeah.
spend on your platform. Are there any tokens that you would like to have that that you don't, that you'd like to offer? Like, is it something like that? And the reason I'm asking is maybe this is a token that we get trading on THORChain, so then you have access to it in your API that the people will be able to use on your platform.
Yeah, good question. I think kind of the one that we were looking into adding was XRP, which like we already can with you guys, right? Trying to think what else we have been considering. I think maybe Stellar, like XLM. But so this is one of the issues that we are trying to solve with the payment statistics. All of these coins, they have a high market cap, but we don't know if they actually get used in any way, right? Like XRP, Ripple obviously talks a big game, but are they actually used? Like we have no clue whatsoever. So it's kind of difficult to even say what coins we want to add because yeah, many coins where you think tons of people are going to use it are just not used. So one story for us is Kaspa, like KAS, which became sort of all the rage, like temporarily. They're like a faster Bitcoin, whatever. They have a huge army of shills on Twitter. So we ended up adding the coin because like, well, there's so many people talking about this. It must be worth adding. I think we had one payment in 3 months. So we're like, okay, there's sometimes a world of difference between the sort of Twitter bubble of what people talk about and what is actually used. So also reverse in a way, right? Because we thought Bitcoin was not used for payments at all anymore. And we kind of dislike Lightning in a way for how difficult it is to set up. We thought no one would use it. We add Bitcoin Lightning and it's like, okay, this is actually used a lot. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is it's hard to say what we should add just because we kind of lack knowledge on what is used a lot. It's kind of the gap that we're also trying to fill.
What about what about like Nano, for example? Like, would it be
Yeah,
worth us exploring having a Nano pool on THORChain?
definitely.
Um,
So Nano is not on any DEX because it is an incredibly simple coin in a way. It does payments only. It does no smart contracts whatsoever. So I don't know how easy it would be to actually integrate it.
well, no, that would so it's a UTXO.
No, it's not UTXO. It's
Oh, oh.
account based. But yeah, it's sort of a whole chain of its own. It's not comparable to Bitcoin in any way. It's more the account based system like ETH, but it doesn't have smart contracts. It doesn't even have memos that you can add. It is just an incredibly simple coin. The way
Oh.
we do it for
Mm.
there are two ways that people use it for payments on like a merchant level. One is you essentially create a new account for every payment, and then you identify the person by, okay, you're paying to account A, essentially, this address. So we know it's coming from you. Because Nano has no fees and it's instant, you can just send it to the one account and then send it on to a next one. And the other one that many people use is Nano has like 30 decimals. So you can add like a few raw at the end, like let's say 1117 is then your identifier. So when you send a payment with 1117, we know it's you.
That
But I don't know, like what I'm trying to get at is I don't know how easy it will be to integrate it into THORChain.
Maybe
Um,
memoless is the answer here, Kenton. I'm
well, it would
wondering
have
if
to be because they don't
yeah.
do. You just said they don't do
Yeah, they don't have
memos, right?
memos. Yeah.
And so that's how memoless transactions work on THORChain, the same way. That little dust at the end
yeah.
identifies your transaction. So and Chad has been. I think this router V6 is going to help
Yeah, so
THORChain
we can
too,
have
right?
some tail end assets, get that memoless feature as well. It's
Be-
my
be-
understanding.
My understanding too, yeah, that make it memoless for everything. And I think that's Chad's goal, is to try and make all the transactions
Yes.
memoless.
Mhm.
So the only way to know how hard it is to integrate Nano would just be to just kind of run it by Star Squid.
Try it out. Yeah.
But
Do you have any idea what it costs for the Daemon to run? Is it a computationally heavy chain, or it sounds light just the way you
Super
describe
light.
it?
It's super light. We
Okay.
run a node which so in Nano you have like sort of regular nodes and you have principal nodes. Principal nodes are ones that have enough voting weight. Okay, I'm getting into a whole Nano explanation here. Principal nodes are the nodes that are important enough in the network to actually need to vote on transactions. Well, not vote on transaction, but just confirm transactions. So to confirm a Nano transaction, 67% of the total voting weight needs to say like, yes, this is okay, put it through. That usually takes like 400, 500 milliseconds. So it's like incredibly quick. But it's so lightweight that we run a principal node, which is like more demanding than a regular node. And I think it costs us $10 a month to run the node. And we do like constant RPC calls to it, and we run like everything on it. So it's very, very light. It's very lightweight. That's kind of the whole goal of Nano, like being lightweight.
Are you close with the devs, with their core team? Do you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
any connections there?
yeah.
Because like this would be something, if we went down this route, we would definitely need their help and for them to do a lot of the heavy lifting, like
Yeah.
on getting it done on THORChain. And then ask them to provide liquidity as well. Um,
I think
but
that's going to be the more difficult part, to provide liquidity, just
oh yeah.
because there is no it's like actually completely decentralized at this point. So there is no central liquidity pool or even like developer fund or anything of the sort. So that would have to come from the community, which is also possible. But that makes it a bit more difficult, I guess, because there's no like one party that can say like, yes, we'll put $1 million.
Well, let's, if you don't mind, if you can introduce
Yeah.
me on Telegram or something. Let's just have the conversation. Because I'm assuming they're not on any DEX. They're only on
Yep.
centralized exchanges.
Correct. Yep.
So, that in itself should get their attention, right?
Yep.
And to be honest, like you really only need like 25 grand, 50 grand
Okay.
for a pool. Like the, um, because THORChain's become really efficient on how it trades. So that 50 grand in a pool can feel like $1 million type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, but the hang up is there's no liquidity fees going to the pools right now. So if Nano provides liquidity, they just have to accept impermanent loss on their position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so I don't want to say charity, but it's kind of no different than giving money to a centralized exchange. Like it's a cost. Like they're gonna sell tokens on you, right? You're paying them. But at least Nano, the devs, whoever, the foundation would still own the liquidity, so they could withdraw whenever they want. We're not arbitrarily dumping it on them. And then as THORChain is moving to a new model, we're moving towards protocol and liquidity, and which I feel like, Denny, I think the community generally agrees with me. I haven't had
Oh
too
yeah.
much people push
Yeah.
back.
People want to push
Where
it hard.
instead of giving liquidity providers yield, LPs are going to get nothing, and that money is just going to go to the protocol, and it's going to become a liquidity provider itself, and
Yeah.
just keep adding to the liquidity pool owned by the protocol. And so this will be a liquidity that never withdraws; it's there forever. And so if the Nano, and it'll go to the pools that have high fees per depth ratio, right? So wherever the money is needed, whatever is going to make the most fees for THORChain. So if the Nano pool if it's small and therefore has a lot of volumes, therefore has high fees
Yeah.
per depth, the protocol will deposit into that pool. And so eventually over time, the protocol could become the majority owner of the liquidity in that pool. And then the Nano Foundation, okay, well, we can yank, we don't need the liquidity anymore. We can yank it out.
Yeah.
Maybe we put in 50 grand, maybe because in permanent loss, now it's worth only 30. Okay, well, it's 20 grand to get this thing going on THORChain. Now we've got this permanent pool on the world's best decentralized exchange forever. That's worth 20 grand, in my opinion, right? So, so this is another reason I really like the POL model, Denny, and everyone else. Like, we can use this to pitch to other layer ones to come on the THORChain. And anyway, that'd be the two hangups, Milan, is just who provides initial liquidity and then who does the dev work to get the chain supported. But like we've had teams from other blockchains who like they can do the work in a few weeks, type thing. So then it just becomes, them just fitting into our pipeline.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
um
Yeah, I know quite a few of the Nano devs, and I know
okay.
some people with quite a bit of money in Nano. Less now than it used to be, sadly, just because price has gone down.
It's tough.
Um,
It's brutal out there, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
I've been
because
eating sirloins every other week. Don't You gotta cut back from our buys.
yeah,
Yeah.
and people in our Discord, like in the NanoGPT Discord, they keep saying I only eat microwave wheels now, microwaved meals. Go down. So luckily, as NanoGPT, we're not like solely like it's not our sort of revenue stream that Nano's price goes up. Luckily,
Yeah.
but no, I think this makes sense because I think it adds a lot of value to Nano, right? To be able
Yeah.
to trade it on
Yeah.
THORChain.
Check it out. Like
And
if you have a Nano pool on THORChain, like that's immediately you can have all these layer one exogenous capital that can flow into Nano. Like that's the powerful thing, right? Like how do people go to Nano right now? They have to go through all these. There's so much friction to figure that out. If it's just on THORChain, one click and you're good to go. You've got Nano.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's literally, well, you understand, you get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love to have that conversation. Really appreciate the introduction.
Yeah, no, will do.
Yeah.
It should be quite easy.
Yeah.
As in the introduction should be easy.
Yeah.
Let's see if I feel like this is something. So it's one of the things about Nano, right? Because it's such a simple coin. It doesn't do smart contracts. It doesn't do anything. But I feel like many people in Nano would still like for it to be on a DEX, just because regardless of whether you want to be able to do smart contracts and the sort, you still want it to be as easy as possible for people to get a hold of Nano. You don't want to be reliant on centralized exchange for people to get into Nano or get out of Nano,
Yeah.
So I feel like this is something that's relatively easy for people to align on in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah. Well, the simpler the better. 'Cause if it's simple, then that tells me it's stable. It's
Yeah.
safe, right? And so
Nano is like, honestly, so we started NanoGPT with just Nano. Nowadays, we have all of the different coins, and I don't get to spend as much time on Nano, the coin, as I used to, which I kind of hate because it's such a beautiful system, but it just works so well. Like, so much in crypto, once you get down like to how it actually works, it's a bit terrible sometimes. Like, we accept many different coins, so we can say this with confidence. A lot of stuff doesn't work, or it doesn't work as well as people of the coin would have you believe. Whereas Nano, it's just so beautifully, it's like, okay, you sent me something 400 milliseconds, I have it fully confirmed. There's no zero confirmation, no like, oh, but maybe it will get rolled back. None of that. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful system. Whenever I try to, or whenever I want to demo crypto to people, it's always like, get yourself a Natrium wallet, which is like a Nano wallet, and I'll send you a bit. And it's like, it works regardless of, I can send from here to Brazil and it's 400 milliseconds. So yeah, not to get on my Nano shilling chair, but it is a beautifully robust, simple system that's actually super useful and completely underappreciated. So
Dude, this is your time. You shill your little heart out and you have every right to do that, brother. Okay. So you just shill to the max right now. Make the audience vomit because they're so excited to get involved with NanoGPT or Nano the token as well. Obviously. Kenton, were you going to say something?
wrong one. This is
Oh, yeah. You're racing with Max. Yeah.
Max Power. I don't know if you remember Milan, but he remembers you.
I think I know who it is, but I don't recognize him from the beautiful image.
He was at the dinner. He was at the dinner with us.
French Canadian.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
Wait, are you French Canadian, Max? Or you just have a strong accent?
He is Canadian.
Yeah, I see him. I don't know
Allegedly.
I don't remember if he's French or not. But anyway, yeah.
Good times, the F1 arcade. Man, it was so much fun. So I sent some pictures of the F1 arcade stuff to my girlfriend. She's like, if you get one of those machines in the house, NanoGPT is gonna flop because you're never gonna want to like you're just gonna be stuck on that machine all day, just racing.
Dude, I quit video games my early 20s for that reason. I'm like I was a gamer when I was a teenager and stuff, and I'm like it was like an addiction. Like I gotta stop. I can't play. Like I love games. And you just end up playing like all night, like 12 hours straight type thing. You don't sleep, and like yeah. So
Yeah.
I gotta just stop. Um
When THORChain saves the world, buddy, then we'll have a StarCraft. We're going to get you right back into it, Kenton. We're going to get uniforms, THORChain, StarCraft. I know
yeah.
that's the game you loved, and
Yeah.
maybe then, buddy, when it
That was
doesn't matter
exciting,
anymore.
man. That was because that was like the first real online human to human game, right?
Yeah.
Like at scale anyway. It was cool. Um, I get home. I worked at a bar. I get home at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then I play StarCraft for a few hours. Go to sleep at 6. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Good time. So for me, it led to crypto, right? Like I wouldn't have known about crypto if it wasn't for this random game that I was playing, or just Bitcoin at the time, I guess. But
Yeah.
well, I like
Didn't you?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say my
Uh,
secret to not being addicted to gaming anymore is I found something interesting to build. It's the only thing that works. If you give me any free time, I'll just, I'll start finding a random game again.
I don't think that story was Kenton. Did StarCraft lead to being a petroleum engineer in any way? Did you see like the little things like collecting the resources in the video game and subconsciously they're
No,
like,
no,
that's what I want to do?
no. I'm from Calgary. Calgary's home. Calgary, Alberta. So like everyone in Calgary ends up working in oil and gas. And so, and being in a petroleum engineer in Calgary is kind of like being like an investment banker in New York. That's like the top. That's your top job type thing. And so, that was just. It doesn't matter what engineering you take in Alberta, Calgary or Edmonton, really, you just end up working in oil and gas. So that was just a natural progression there. Um,
And here
um,
you are, crypto buddy. Where you belong.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I'm
actually,
saying?
that's so for me, when after I started working as an engineer, I started making some money. Now I need to save and then, invest. I'm an adult now. And then, what do I invest in? What do I do? And I came across gold. And my grandpa was into gold and gold stocks. So I started looking into it. And then I'm like, fiat money, central banking. And I fell down that rabbit hole hard, man. So it was central banks are definitely the most evil things on the planet. Like if there's any kind of Bond villain type thing, it's the central banking cartel, the WEF, the OECD, the whole apparatus, right? That's the specter of the world. So I'm channeling my inner Bond. This is how we fight back, guys. We're doing God's work right now to free the world. So
What's also
I'm going
good
to put under Milan ex central banker as his title now.
okay, that I feel like all of the first at least podcasts I went on where I did like reveal after I was Mira for a long time, all of them were like ex central banker, now crypto. Like it's the reason I was anonymous on Twitter and was a girl was because I worked at the central bank. Because it's kind of like two separate worlds you don't want to mix, right? Like I would get accused of being a central bank shill on Twitter, and I would get
Yeah.
shit from the central bank probably I thought at least, if they knew I was talking about crypto and like shitting on central banks on Twitter. So, yeah, interesting mix of worlds.
I
Really,
actually kind of regret not creating a alter ego alias account on Twitter because when I used to when I was in TradFi, like I was censored up the yin yang. I couldn't post or do anything online, like in my name. I did get I had to get compliance approval for literally everything, right? So like, I should have just started an alt account. Like I don't know,
man.
it's
So I'll
maybe a
give
big.
the Dutch central bank credit for this one. So I wrote this big Twitter post about essentially how Bitcoin was going to die, all of the issues that it has, and like the mining subsidies and how it's getting centralized over time, all that kind of stuff. And it kind of blew up, but then Bitcoin people got very pissed off about it. and some of them sent like death threats, and others apparently figured out, still don't know how, but they figured out my real name, and then they contacted the Dutch central bank with like a collected list of all of the stuff I had posted. They had two lists. One was just stuff I posted about central banks, and one was a list of like posts with timestamps, and they were trying to like prove he is posting during working hours. So they tried to get the central bank to fire me and like discipline me or whatever, because they were like, well, like clearly he's talking badly about central banks and he's doing it on like the bank's time. And I didn't know, because they sent it directly to the compliance department at the central bank. So I got an email, I think it was from the central bank, like, we need to do a call. We need to do a call about this because we got some information from some people, whatever. So I'm like, man, what the hell is this? And then the central bank was super chill about it. They were like, okay, so we're not going to do anything about this. Like, it's all good. Keep doing what you're doing. It's totally fine. Just don't try and make it sound like these are our words. As long as you do it under your own name or a non-name, totally fine. Just know that you have some people gunning for you. Like, some people are out for you. But they were like remarkably chilled out about it and remarkably sort of supportive. So yes, I'm sure central banks as a whole are evil, but my experiences have been, they're also like nice people in there sometimes.
So wait, sorry, these are Bitcoiners who did
Yeah.
this to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some of these Bitcoin maxis, man, are so petty. Like, they're terrible.
Yeah, I haven't had this as much with any other. So I criticized a lot of coins. Nowadays, I don't have enough time to criticize all the coins, but I think many coins are just unsustainable. They don't have good sort of long-term security and all that kind of stuff. So I wrote like criticisms of many different coins. In some cases, like the founders would reach out, or like the community would sort of respond, and we'd get into a discussion. Bitcoin was always the one where there was no discussion. It was just a sort of laser eyes, like, have fun staying poor. And then like obviously bad experiences like this. So yes, I got started with Bitcoin, but kind of I feel like the community, at least on Twitter, which I guess like that's very much not the real world, is kind of it's gotten way worse, at least over time. Like, since the early days, and I know I sound like an old guy now, but like the early days, it would just be, friendly discussion and like, yes, okay, these are issues. Let's talk about them. Let's solve them. Let's see if someone can come up with something better. And now it's like, okay, have fun staying poor, laser eyes, whatever. I'd get insults, of course, for being a girl, because at the time I was a girl on Twitter. Like, obviously, girls don't know anything about this, but yeah, not the best experiences.
Yeah,
lot of-
it's frustrating. Go ahead, Denny.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of subversive things going on. They're not even real people. It's literally it's a
Yeah.
psyop. You know what I mean? So, our industry, generally speaking, broadly speaking, is under attack by some pretty powerful people, and they try to build dissension within certain groups and fragment it. Right? Like, fragmentation leads to weakness, of course. But not speaking about one particular token or anything like that, but this is where I think we can really shine. I mean, our technology is really robust, it's really strong, and it's going to stand the test of time just because of how useful it is as well, right? And I really liked what we talked about earlier, Kenton. You mentioned, like, is anyone trying to like shut you down? Well, seems like Venice is getting into the game too, and that actually makes you guys stronger too, because if you have multiple entities offering a service and the service is useful, and many businesses love the service that you're giving, that's going to give you protection from the market itself, and the market is quite powerful because they do have their fingers in a lot of things as well. So I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. I am.
Yeah, and I think just in general, we're trying to be very supportive of anyone who accepts crypto or builds on crypto, because there are not enough easy ways to spend your crypto or to swap your crypto or to get in and out of crypto. And sort of the more places accept crypto, the more places use crypto, the better it is for all of us, right? Like, the way crypto becomes broadly accepted and becomes valuable is because you can just use it anywhere. Like, I'm here in Spain right now. There's no way to use crypto. Well, there are ways. Joel would tell me all of the ways that I could use use crypto to pay for anything here. But like, it's not a sort of in the public eye. It's not a thing. Crypto. It's just like so many. We as a business, we accept credit cards as well, right? And we pay 3% to Stripe plus 30 cents on every transaction. Like all of the merchants here are presumably also paying that. Like even for that part alone, it's like, okay, look into crypto, look into accepting crypto. It's so much better. You don't have to wait for 2 weeks for Stripe to say, yes, here's your own money. You don't have to like deal with, I don't know, Stripe saying, oh, your customer now says their card was stolen and they filed a dispute after spending a few $100s. It's such a
So
much better system.
I'm glad you mentioned that. This is going to bring in a third team. I don't want to detract from the conversation, but I think it's topical because we were talking about getting Nano on THORChain. There are many teams. There is Bior Labs. There's Mocha. They want to be point of sale applications, and that's the exact point you brought up. There's like a pretty high commission fee you have to pay for like the TradFi system when you use debit cards or whatever it is. And you're using crypto, using the decentralized liquidity pools of THORChain, Maya protocol, right, as a settlement layer. And so when Nano gets on THORChain, that would be really good. You can literally go into a store and then you can buy a good or service with Nano because the shop owner can then change that asset into the settlement layer of their choice, whether that be a stable coin, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Doge, Ethereum, whatever. That's where the power comes from, right? Because it's so difficult. Like if you have a store, what crypto do you accept? How much do you accept? Do you know anything about the crypto? All of that stuff is going to be abstracted away. And that starts with the decentralized liquidity pools of THORChain, and there's just so much utility that comes from that. So very exciting time, man. So I hope that if there's any Nano developers out there, I hope they listen to this. Maybe I'll clip this and send it to them just so they understand. Like there's so many tail end effects of getting on THORChain. Just because we're not lazy, like we're so many things we want to do on THORChain. We just have like a bandwidth issue on the developer side. There's just so much to do. So if they're willing to put in the effort, man, we'll get Nano on THORChain LFG, particularly if their Daemon is like what a few like $10 a month, and that's with heavy usage. That's nothing. And if it's bringing in good swap volume, that would make THORChain just so happy. So yes, LFG, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Milan, you mentioned you guys take payment in fiat as well. Can you share with us like how much are people paying in fiat versus paying in crypto? Do you know like a ratio?
Yeah. So we started with crypto. So at the start, it was more crypto than fiat. Ever since we added fiat, it is unfortunately much more fiat than crypto. It's also, I guess, partly because businesses pay in fiat, right? So businesses mostly don't use crypto at all for their payments. And they do a lot of volume on our service. So unfortunately, yeah, the fiat side is way, way bigger than crypto.
Can I have a follow-up question? When you added fiat, did your business go up? Did you get more customers and that's why it's payment? Or did people from crypto switch to fiat when that happened? That's what I'm curious.
Just business went up. So like crypto also kept growing. I feel like the people already using crypto stuck with crypto, but just we sort of entered a whole new market, right? Like maybe your parents know crypto, but like mine would have trouble paying in Nano or any coin. So they wouldn't deposit if it was crypto only. And yeah, same for many businesses, they wouldn't. So we just expanded our market. Again, like it in a way, well, actually I don't agree, but like in a way it's selling out, right? Because you're not just accepting crypto anymore, but also fiat. But it's
no, bro, you're good. You're good. This is what you need to do, right? Because you got a whole new market as a business. That's the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
There's that tangential relationship now. Like this business can transition into crypto now that there's an option available. So that's how like these businesses, they're going to be fiat minded for a while. That's just the way they do things. But the transition, like, yeah, you saw an increase in fiat usage, but that's just because that's new business. That's new users, right? That's okay. I think you're going to see an inversion of that. You're going to see fiat eventually go to crypto as fiat becomes more and more unpalatable for various reasons. So no, you're doing a good thing. You are part of the bridge between getting TradFi into crypto. By offering fiat. So don't feel bad about that, man. You're doing a good thing.
No. What we did for the longest time, I don't know what the percentage is now, but we offer discounts on paying with Nano at least. And I think we also temporarily had it for Lightning and I think maybe Zeno. But so our thinking was, okay, people can pay in credit card and then they get like $100 paid is $100 deposited. Or, pay in Nano and then you get $105. Just because from our end, we would prefer if people paid in Nano or Monero or, many coins, because we don't have to deal with Stripe. Like it saves us on money. It saves us on hassle. So our thinking is actually kind of, you're not gonna easily get people into crypto if they, first of all, if they don't know it exists, but also if there's no sort of upside for them. And I think for many people, offering the sort of extra bonus or whatever, if you deposit crypto, that can actually, so we've had many people in our chat be like, okay, how do I get Nano? Like, I'm trying to figure this out on Kraken. Like, can someone help me? So I feel like, despite, of course, like many Fiat people would just stick with Fiat, I feel like we've brought more Fiat people into crypto than we would have done if we stayed purely crypto. So a while back at the Nano meetup, I was also talking about this. Like, people need to know it exists and they need to care enough to check it out. And they're not going to care if they're already paying with credit card and you just get the same if you pay in crypto, usually. Unless something happens in a person's life where suddenly crypto becomes relevant, right? Like, you get blocked by your bank, or something happens, you have to take your money out of the country and you can't. Or if there's some advantage to you for doing so. So yeah, we in many different small ways we try to help, like, get crypto to be more normal, or at least for people to be interested in it. Like, why would I care about this? Why should I care? Why should I care about my money being deflated? We have blog posts about like why we think Nano is a better store of value than just using fiat money, why merchants should take crypto pay, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's sort of a long road, but I feel like if we can contribute to that a little bit, at least it's helped already.
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great. I think that this is how we win, how we get mass adoption, is when you have the fiat and crypto payment rails beside each other, because then it starts to normalize crypto. So
Yeah.
like, I've had it, you go to buy something and like, maybe my credit card is canceled because there's like was hacked or whatever, right? I'm like, oh God, how do I pay? But I can use PayPal connected to my bank account, whatever. So at least the merchant has these different options for how to pay. And if one of them gets hung up on me for some reason, I can go use the other one. It's no different than if I get hung up on my fiat for whatever reason. Oh, well, they've had crypto here. Maybe I'll go try this Bitcoin thing and see how that works or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's just a natural progression, is we're going to be alongside each other and then we'll go apart. So,
We have the same for some users who genuinely don't have credit cards, right? Where they're from. Like the Kenyan guy, he wouldn't have been able to use us if we were credit card only. But he did have access to crypto somehow. He had earned the Nano apparently somehow, just got paid online directly in Nano. We then added an earn page to our website because like, we want more of this, just people earning crypto and then spending it again with merchants like us, for example. But yeah, I think that's the way you need to do it, right? Like, first, it needs to be possible for people to earn crypto, but like, even without that, it needs to be easy to spend it, and you need some advantage of doing it. So yeah, it's but I think it will keep progressing, just because honestly, ask any merchant, they hate. Stripe is such an amazing company because every merchant in a way dislikes the fees that they're paying them, and still you sort of have to use them. So come up with an alternative to Stripe that uses crypto in a very nice way, and you're probably sitting on $1 billion company, I think.
yeah,
Yep.
totally. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, so we've really gone into what NanoGPT is, what it does. I'm curious, do you guys have, is it more like you guys are just going to keep up on the AI game, more models, more things? Do you have more things that you want to do in the future that maybe different avenues? Like maybe you could break that down a little bit. What
Yeah.
the future plans for NanoGPT look like?
Yeah, so we are very bad with a roadmap because every day we kind of wake up and we go, this is what our users want, so we'll add this in. So essentially what we keep trying to improve on is, well, obviously just adding new models as they come in. But we want to keep improving on privacy in every way that we can. So for example, people want to be able to use their same conversation on their phone and on their computer, laptop, whatever. But then you have to sync between those somehow, right? So, and most people that are into privacy, they wouldn't trust it going to some central server. So then we add in like bring your own server, and you can verify that it's only going to that server. You can encrypt it in the browser before it even gets sent to the server, all that kind of stuff. So we added that in. We added in personally identifiable information redaction. So you can turn that on, and then it goes through a model that's running locally, like device only, and it scans scans for certain phrases, and it replaces like your name, email, all that kind of stuff with like placeholders, so that before it even gets to say OpenAI, all of your personal information is scrubbed out, or your private keys in crypto. What else are we doing? We recently made this post about like what we shipped in May, and it was so much. Let's see, what we shipped in May.
I just had an idea. I don't want to interrupt your flow of thought, but
Oh,
there's with Nano. Okay, so check it out. Like, you offer permissionless access to AI tooling, right? That's the way it is. And so you have API endpoints. Like, why couldn't a point of sale application use your API endpoint to integrate AI into their own point of sale application and use that as a feature? And so someone who goes to a restaurant say, I want to order this, this, and this, and I'm going to be there. And then the AI will take care of everything. And it's all a fluid thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think there's some permutation there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
a lot of businesses could use Nano GPT to make their own services better, because it's in lieu of the fact that it is permissionless. Like this.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
And so I know some businesses that use us don't use it just for like chat or for development or whatever, but they have it built into some flow of their own. So like email comes in, support email, and first it has like a model looking at it like, okay, this is an easy one. I think we should answer this and this. We also recently added partners, which I probably should have mentioned before. But like we have nanogpt.com/partners, and it's essentially a way that any business, any website, any company can add AI into their website. So for example, the bitcoin.com wallet, what they want to do is make it easier on news articles to learn more about it, right? So like chat with an AI about this news article to sort of dive deeper into it. So what we've built is, oh, am I still here? Yeah, okay. Are you muted, I think, Denny?
Denny's muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm muted. I'm sharing the exact screen. I don't know if it's black for you, but I'm sharing the exact thing you're talking about. So carry on, good sir.
Okay. Yeah, so essentially what we want to do is we want to make it easy for people to add AI into their own product or service that's already existing without sort of all the hassle of integrating all the different models, integrating payment flows, sort of all of the stuff that we can do as NanoGPT. We want to make that more broadly accessible. So if you run a website, you can choose to add in NanoGPT, and your users can use the models on your website. You can choose like, okay, do they need to top up funds themselves, or do we sort of pay for them? Or can they do a few prompts and then after they need to top up on NanoGPT? So one way this can be used, for example, is let's say that you run this newspaper as an example, and you have a subscription that people have. You can add in like super easily AI models into the website just as a sort of sidebar. And then included in the subscription is people can also ask questions about those articles on the website. So yeah, this is like what you're saying, essentially people building AI into their own things through us. It's very much what we're trying to do, not just in terms of integrating AI into their own products, but also making it easy for the payment flows to be sort of outsourced. Because if you like run a simple restaurant website, then you're not going to want to set up like Stripe payments on a website and also crypto payments and also how do I integrate AI. So with this, we're trying to make that easy. So all of that we run, you just essentially have it on your website. If people top up via us, then you get like a revenue share. I don't know how much it is. It's probably on the website somewhere. But yeah, this is essentially our way of trying to make it easier for anyone, any business to integrate AI into whatever they're doing.
Dude, this is the untapped potential here is actually quite crazy now that I think about it. My mind's like racing all the things you could do. Because going to your website, there's friction there, right? Like that's
Yeah.
people have to go to your website to use it, which is fine, and people use it and they will find it. But if you integrate directly with other businesses and they're using you in the back end, then you just proliferate everywhere, kind of like THORChain wanted to proliferate everywhere, wanting to offer the service that we have. So
Yeah.
wow.
So this is
Wow,
sort of
pretty good.
it's kind of where we see the quickest growth, right? Because businesses really like using AI for all kinds of things. I kind of personally hate it when you have to support chatbots that are like very clearly AI. But there are a lot of sort of easy use cases where you can improve the search on a website by just having a very small, fast model that can like take a natural language question and be like, oh, you probably want to search for this on the website. So for that kind of stuff, it can be fantastic. So yes, we have an API that any business can integrate with, but we also have that partners thing, which like should make it a lot easier. I think
Well,
a few days ago.
I'm sorry
What,
to
sorry?
interrupt you. After the show, I am going to tell some people, some teams I'm thinking about to check you out. I'm probably going to show them this clip of this just to say, hey, I think there might be here something for you. You know, so absolutely,
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant, man.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, like that kind of stuff is not on any roadmap. It's just someone reaches out and they're like, man, that's such a good idea. Like, let's add this in. And nowadays development goes really quick. Sadly, Fable is offline, right? So slightly slower now. But yeah, so that kind of stuff. Or you have the trusted execution environment models that I mentioned. We wanted to make it like fully verifiable start to end, that your prompts are never read by anyone. So like you can verify that it's encrypted in the browser before we even get any access to the prompt, and that it's sent on to this provider, which also has it encrypted. So that's something that we added very recently. What else did we do? Oh yeah, you can run a local model on our website now. So running local models is quite difficult to set up for many people. We have a sort of very easy one-click install now, and then you have a local model on our website that you can just use. The data never leaves your device. So for like simple questions, you can just use that local model. And also for like memory stuff, so the sort of, we're trying to make it optionally, obviously, so that the AI learns about you. But most people prefer if that doesn't all go to Google or OpenAI. So if you have a local model that can do that, then you know for sure that the data never even leaves your device, right? Like it learns about you, but all of that data stays local, like what it learned about you. So that's something that we added. Essentially, we're constantly shipping quite a lot, I want to say. Let me check actually if there's more important stuff. Yeah, an agent harness, which we recently, like people are setting up agents, right? So that they can do
Yes.
stuff for them rather than having to do it all themselves. And we're discovering that many agents are finding NanoGPT and then trying to figure out like, how do I best use this? So we have a sort of agents file that they can get started in, and it turns out it works really well. We have the X402 payment protocol, so that you never even have to go to our website to start using our service. You can just send a request on the API, and we say, yes, we will serve this to you if you pay us 0.001 USDC on Base or on Solana. I think we support now on Nano. It's funny, man. You never stop to think about all the things that you built into your service, and then turns out it's actually quite a lot.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
wild, actually.
I'll stop here. I think the last cool thing that we have now is workspaces or projects. So let's say one of you is working on some THORChain related stuff, and you want to make sure all of your documents about it are in one place, and sort of all the relevant images or emails that you throw in. So we have Workspace, and then all of that just goes in there. And then when you send a message to a model, it can sort of search all of those documents. We've sort of indexed them locally. And so then next time you ask something about an old podcast, for example, if it's in there somewhere, you can throw like 1,000 documents in there. It will find that specific podcast and answer you based on like actual knowledge. So that's also one that many people were asking about, because it's quite a hassle to have to re-explain what you're doing to the model every time and like re-upload relevant documents. And now it's just like all in one place, and you can just continue anything to do with THORChain, for example. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. And then I think that's like the past month or something. So anytime someone has a good idea of what to add, we will gladly add it as quickly as possible.
when I talked to you guys in Vegas, you guys gave me the impression like because you are at high tempo, you guys are always shipping, you're working really hard. Like you remind me like a hamster on a wheel, and then like
Yeah.
just spinning super fast, and then like the hamster's just like chugging Red Bulls and Monsters and energy drinks, and you know what I mean, it's doing lines of Coke. Like you guys are just going all out crazy in every different direction. So really cool, man. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Gosh dang. It's like my own hamster wheel. My brain has been turning a lot, and I'm just like, man, there's so many things you can do. There's just this is the very early beginning for NanoGPT in my mind. I mean, you guys are onto something here, and just keep going hard. Stay ahead of the pack. You guys are a great team. I love your ethos. I want you guys to win so hard, and getting on THORChain. I'm hoping that'll help you guys even be more successful. And like I said, I am the moment this is over, I'm be like, hey. I'm gonna tell like 2 different teams just off the top of my head, like, hey, check this spot out. I think there might be something here for you. So, yeah, man,
Yeah.
really cool.
No, I think you're right. It's kind of at the start because AI is only becoming bigger. Like whether people like it or not, like it's becoming more and more useful and more like sort of more of life is being outsourced to all of these. I notice it myself, right? Like I have this health dashboard now that's built by one of these models. What we essentially just try to do is make it as easy as possible to access all of those different tools. If something new comes out, we'll like add it in and people have access immediately, whether that's a model or a web search or any sort of tool that you can think of, and try to make it so that everyone can access it in like with the best privacy they can. So yeah, it's a fun thing to work on, and I'm happy that you're that you're excited about it as well.
My brain likes this kind of stuff, man. Kenton, did you want to add anything here? Really cool conversation.
No,
I
man,
love
that's
it.
good. It's great. Let me just kind of one last chance, Milan. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you want to bring up that we haven't touched on?
I honestly don't think so. I think that the dinner and the event were great. I think I just want to bring that up again. Had
Thank
so
you.
much fun there, man. Like,
Yeah,
really,
good.
thank you for hosting that event.
No,
You're
good.
gonna give Kenton so much performance anxiety because now the bar is set so freaking high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's gonna be stressed out the next one. He's gonna be like, damn, I really got
Where's
to
the
even go
next
all
one,
out.
Kenton? Did you plan it already? When?
Yeah, Kenton,
No.
when, Kenton, WEN,
So,
when?
yeah, this is a thing with conferences. It's like, I don't know which one. Joel is bugging me to go to a conference in Europe, in Amsterdam.
Yes, the Common Sense one and
Yes.
Dash
Yeah.
is at the same time, I think.
Yeah. And so I might be up for, paying to sponsor something, but I guys, I can't fly 10, 12 hours just for a weekend. It kills me. So Denny, I don't know if you want to go or if we have
Yeah,
someone
I'll
else.
go. Sure. Yeah. What day is it though? What is it? Can't
I
you
don't
know,
know.
Milan? I
I
can
think
look it
it's
up.
actually like
Beginning of September, I think. First week of
it is.
September or something.
Let me see. I do have it in my.
Um,
So I
but
think the sort of pitch for it is Dash is doing their event, like DashCon, I think they're calling it. And then the days after is this Common Sense. So I think on like Thursday it's DashCon, Friday, Saturday is Common Sense. So just to sort of advertise Common Sense a bit, because I was there last year. It was called ETH Dam at the time. They also really just care about privacy, about using crypto. There's like zero fluff in terms of the people there. They just like they don't want to like shill anything that doesn't work. They just care about what is working and what is not. They also did a hackathon last year, which I got to judge, which was super fun because people built such amazing stuff in like one day. It's insane. So yeah, it's a very fun one. It's not
Yeah.
as big as let's say Bitcoin Las Vegas, but the sort of signal to noise ratio, is that what it's called, is a lot higher.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
that's
And
what Joel was saying. He says it's probably his favorite conference now.
Yeah.
And it's very high quality. So but yeah, so maybe plan something for that. Yeah.
very cool. Oh my lord, I lost my train of thought. I've been thinking about so many different things. It's gone. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, dang it. I was going on a tangent there in my brain. I forgot. But this is really cool, man. Oh, no, here it is. Kenton, this actually might be opportune wave a magic wand. It's September. Where is THORChain at? Like, hopefully we have XMR going. You know, like
Talking,
do we have
the question for me, like what?
you
Oh
well, like,
gosh,
I'm just like imagining like, so for this trip to this conference, you know, we're in September. Hopefully, XMR swaps are live, and you know, if they're all about privacy, this is like the perfect opportune moment. Like, here it is, guys. Like, it's here for you.
oh yeah.
You see what I'm
Well,
saying? Like
gosh,
privacy.
by then I would like to think, well,
September. Yeah.
yeah, we got Monero's Zcash and Dash,
Right.
right? Dash should be on the next, should be one of the next main chains we add, and then the Firo, and who
Yeah.
else were we talking to?
Not Nano. Xano.
Nano.
I think Xano's got to figure out. They got to finish their gateway nodes. I
Yeah.
think, right? They
Yeah.
still working on. But wasn't there? There's another. I thought there's another privacy coin we talked to.
I'm talking to Pirate Chain right now, but I know we haven't had a thing with them.
Maybe I could be wrong. Or maybe I'm just thinking. Oh well, Zephyr. There's Zephyr.
Yeah.
But there's
Zephyr.
another one too. Well, who's on next week?
Let me look right now, Kenton.
It's
Zolos Army.
Zach.
Zach.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Zolos Army. What is Zach a privacy coin? XEC.
I don't know.
I can't. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Yeah, I get all these different projects and conversations to get jumbled up in here. But anyway,
XEC.
Sorry?
eCash, I think. XEC.
That's eCash.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a privacy?
I don't necessarily think so.
Yeah, I okay. Anyway,
We'll find out next week.
Yeah. Pretty crummy way for us to sell our next week's guest. Sorry, guys. I gotta do you better justice next week, Zolos Army. But anyway, Danny, yes. By September, I would like to think we've got several new chains and bunch of privacy coins in there. So
Yeah, plan for optimism, man. That's what I say, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because what we are right now, everyone's like, oh, we're paused. Like, this is a very, very, very temporary state of THORChain. You know, we're gonna be back on our feet in no time. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think this is the time, Kenton. We just got to do what we can to get out there. It's so exhausting. Travel halfway around the world. I've done it. It's hard, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to win. And I think just it's really compelling what we're offering here. And yeah, LFG, man. I'm ready to grind it out, man. This is the time we got to do this. And this is the perfect time with the narrative, right? I mean, just privacy is the thing that everyone's talking about. It's just so obvious it's correct. And when people are given the information between KYC and non-KYC and the effect KYC has, kill your customer, right? People are actually getting abducted and hurt. Like, this is it, man. We got this. We got this in the bag. Let's bring it home. So absolutely.
Also, Kenton, like, to be fair, I flew to Las Vegas for like meeting you guys.
True.
Right? So,
oh man,
True.
Here we go,
Kenton. He raced with you, bro.
Oh boy. All right. Well, yeah. Yeah, let me think about it.
You ain't got nothing to say, sir. You ain't got nothing to say. I would say, Milan, you are considerably younger than Kenton. He is an old man. He needs his tea in the morning or whatever he drinks. This is hard for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting old too, bro. So it is what it is. But
there
you're
is
right.
tea to them, to be fair.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm not very fond of flying myself. Like, I try to fly during the day so it doesn't wreck my sleep as much, sort of, because you can never sleep in a plane, right? So fly during the day and then get some work done on the plane, integrate THORChain, you know.
So like all drugs are decriminalized in Amsterdam, right?
I think so, pretty much. I think weed is actually legal in small amounts, but the rest is like decriminalized, as in you can get your heroin tested and stuff.
Yeah.
I think as a seller, you would still get into trouble, but as a user, no trouble there.
Because you can get like hash brownies at a cafe, so I definitely have to do that. I want to get some mushrooms, eat some mushrooms while I'm there. So I'd love to do that. If there's like a cafe, if they have mushroom tea or mushroom chocolates or something, I would love to do that.
I love how my mother country is known. It's like internationally, it's like, oh yeah, Amsterdam, of course,
Oh
yeah,
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 drug
really,
tourism. Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the only reason I want to go.
Years, you know.
I am Kenton. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. If you do this, I'm going with you, and I'm gonna get a camera, and I'm just gonna live stream you shilling THORChain high on mushrooms, and I'm just gonna see what happens. Maybe we'll get 100
Dude.
integrations by the time you're done, dude.
Yeah, I'll be doing it to the plant on the table at the cafe. Um,
So
but
is
yeah,
this the
that's
event that you're thinking of? Like,
pardon?
oh, is that the event that you're tithinking of hosting there in Amsterdam?
There you
Yeah, we sell
go,
the
Kenton.
mushroom. There you go. I won't tell anyone. It'll be have you seen that it'll be a Hollywood buffet. Do you guys see that clip that went around with
Yeah.
Seth Rogen and James Franco's brother? And that girl is eating all the chocolates and she eats like 10 grams of mushrooms.
I
Anyways,
haven't seen that. No.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah. I I was just trying to think, man, if we could actually pull it off, a party. I don't know. I don't think everyone's into mushrooms like that.
No, that is.
Yeah.
Either way, I'll probably be there. I think at the Common Sense and DashCon. DashCon, like Joel, right? So I want to hang out with Joel either way. But yeah, I think they're fun events to go to. They're like
Yeah.
good actual builder events.
Is it like more layer ones, or is it like more like platforms like NanoGPT that are like you have a
So
product and then crypto is like part of it type thing?
the previous one, East Dam, was just mostly layer ones, or like talking about open source stuff on top of layer ones that they were building. Very few sort of companies. I think we were probably one of the rare exceptions with NanoGPT that were speaking as a company. But yeah, mostly just people building stuff on top of crypto or the layer one itself. They also had what's his name, the privacy tornado cash guy that was arrested in the
Roman
Netherlands.
Storm.
Yeah, so he also came by to speak, which was super interesting. So yeah,
Right.
they really genuinely care about privacy and about like using crypto.
So it'd be so even though it's a small conference, like it's a few hundred people,
Yeah.
but it's pretty high. It's creme de la creme,
Yeah.
like decision makers, doers.
Yeah.
People are actually okay.
Yeah, it was
Um,
last year anyway, right? I don't know what it's like for this year, but last year it was a like as Joel said as well, I guess, right? It's a very just interesting. Everyone you talk to there is interesting and is like building something or
yeah.
thing. By the way, it's a completely different subject, but BCH Bliss, which I think happened only a few weeks ago, they also have a very good vibe. I don't know if BCH is on THORChain, but
It is.
like
It
Yeah.
is.
And
okay.
and the guys have been wait a second, is that
MUSD is what you're thinking of, right? The
MUSC?
stablecoin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been they want to get cash tokens on THORChain. They're super
Yes.
gung ho about it, but there's a hang up where the risk for us adding cash tokens isn't isolated to just their chain. It introduces a risk to all of the UTXOs on THORChain. So it's like a high risk, low reward
Didn't
thing
know
for
that.
us right now. So but maybe there's ways around it.
Maybe outlier. Maybe they just deposit it and then they can make a derivative or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, you need a pool for outlier. Like
Right, but
yeah. So
yeah, you do. Yeah.
anyway, we are in touch with the Bitcoin Cash guys, and we'd love to try and find a way to make their cash tokens work. Right, I'd just say right now it's on pause or stalled or back burner, whatever.
Yeah.
But like Denny says, it's just a bandwidth problem on our end too. Like, and unfortunately, like, the the cash tokens they're pretty small market cap. So
we haven't integrated them yet either for
yeah.
the same reason. It's only so much you can do, and also it's still quite small. I
Yeah.
like the idea of it, right? But it's not sort of. I can understand it's not the first priority in a sense.
Yeah.
I
Well, yeah.
admire them for building it either way. Like there are a lot of people building things in BCH, so that's cool. But yeah, we also haven't integrated it yet. So yeah.
Maybe it's just a simple, it just takes some engineering to make that attack vector go away. I don't know. I'm actually really curious to learn why. I'm probably going to ask that on Thursday. I didn't even know about that, Kenton, so I'm glad you brought that up. Just see what exactly the hang up is, what exactly attack vector is. Because like Milan, like this is the problem with THORChain. Like everything is in the open that we do. Like, the thing we say a lot is if a centralized exchange has a serious problem, they can hide it. They can paper over it. It's all internal. And people often don't even know. When something bad happens on THORChain, literally anyone in the world knows immediately because it's like it's real. Like that's why it's a complicated thing to have a decentralized network. Uptime is so important for any service. And that's just why on THORChain, it's just several magnitudes more of complexity that we deal with rather than anyone else. And unfortunately, I don't think we get enough credit for just how difficult it is. We have a lot of projects that throw shade on us. A lot of projects are not even live yet. They're not in the ring. They're not in the boxing, right? Like that's what it is. Like we're literally fighters in a ring boxing. That's what being in the open market is. And like we have stands that are like these fans and they're like overweight and out of shape. And they're all like, kick them in the nuts, kick them in the balls. Like they're like, you know what I mean? Like they're trying, saying what we should do. It's like, dude, get in the ring. Like take a few hits to the dome and then, fight back. Like, so yeah, that's just a problem, but it is what it is. I feel like we are getting recognized though, bit by bit, more and more. So as people figure it out, just truly what THORChain has accomplished. And I'm hoping this podcast today is given NanoGPT recognition for the amazing idea that you guys have and the innovation you are bringing and the elegance of it. The elegance is something that my mind really loves. It's just an elegant, novel idea that just perfectly needed. It's perfect, man. Especially that Kenyan story. I hope people hear that and that really resonates with them.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite stories. But yeah, likewise, also just THORChain, also a very simple idea, right? Just actually building it is a bit more complicated. So, but yeah, we're very happy to like you guys adding privacy coins is of course big for you guys, but it's also big for us, right? Because then suddenly we don't need to rely on any centralized exchange anymore for our Monero swaps, which Monero is becoming harder to run on centralized exchange. So yeah, it's great. It's a great thing to work on, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we're coming up past 2 hours, Milan. This has been such a fun conversation. The time flew by, man. I just love these conversations. They feel effortless talking to someone like yourself. Is there anything else? I think we got everything. If there are any final thoughts by you, I'm thinking a good time to wrap it up. What do you boys think?
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think anyone who wants to try out NanoGPT, deposit like 10 cents or $1, start with a very small amount. You can also judge like how well we integrated your crypto of choice. See if we did a good job. If we didn't, let us know. We will improve. But yeah, just give it a try. And if there's anything that you want to see added to it or think can be improved, let us know because we love to improve.
And likewise, as Kenton alluded to earlier, if you notice anything on THORChain side that we can do better from an integrator like yourself, please let us know. We don't have any ego in this. We just want to be maximally efficient and the greatest efficacy we possibly have. I don't think we talked about it real quick. When people go to have crypto, do you guys support a various amount of wallets, Wallet Connect, things like this? Is that how it works, or?
Wallet Connect, I think we have added, but only on ai.bitcoin.com. So I'm not sure if it's also already live on the main website. But aside from that, like it easily opens MetaMask and everything if you just select your coin of choice. So all of that should be fairly easy. Yeah, I think any coin, any wallet you use should work fine with us.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I think we're going to leave it there. Milan, please hang out with us just so you upload on your side. Kenton, did you have anything else before we wrap it up?
No, it's good. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up, you guys. This has been such a great conversation, you guys. Please, I want to shout out Milan again. Nano-GPT.com. You guys, check it out. It's such an amazing site. Such a great idea. So beyond blessed to have met these boys. And when you guys get going and everything's going good, if you guys want to come back on the show, we'd love to have you. This has been a great conversation. Or if you guys do anything else, feel free just to reach out. And yeah, absolute banger. You guys, next week, of course, we're gonna have Thursday and Friday. We're gonna have Zolo's Army on the podcast. Very excited to learn more about them and see what's going on. As a reminder, you guys, if you'd like to become a node operator on THORChain, need some help, please reach out to @RuneTard on X. He can help you get set up and find bond providers. For THORChain data and insights, follow @RayAnalytics on X. He does written recaps of these podcasts too. Really great guy, does it free, guys. Give him some love. And always remember, guys, the views expressed are solely of those of the hosts and guests. Any action taken based on this information is at your own risk. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The THORChain community does not endorse, condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. Thank you, Milan. Thank you, Kenton. We hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.